is Tristan with Nerdouts Newsstand, and I want to talk a little bit more about the AH and JD situation. Now, the article we are going to go over is from a company named Pop Topic. So I don't know how legit it is. Like I usually say, these are all allegations. Take them with a grain of salt. But I do want to go over it because I find it very interesting that in this situation, they have some sort of insider exposing a plot to literally try to ruin JD. And as you mostly know, if you've been covering this case, that's what it's been the entire time. JD's statement on that has never wavered. He's always said that was what was going on, and he's going to expose that truth. And it looks like even maybe we may be a step closer, hoping at some point they say who this insider is or show the proof behind this. But I do want to share it with you because I find it very interesting. All the dots that they connect is all related back to Amber basically wanting to be a political figure, right? And we have really known that all along, right? Basically, I'm not gonna go over it in its entirety, but they talk about a former production executive at New Line Cinema that believes AH has been connected by an influential and well-known connected member of the activist group and author of the infamous Emily Doe. Now, the person they are specifically talking about when it comes to Emily Doe, that's what started the METOO movement, right? And it found out later that it was done by Michelle Dauber. She is a women's rights activist. She is a professor, but most of all, she is being investigated for election fraud because the original letter was found out through the Freedom of Information Act, which I wish that we would see somebody like JD use when it comes to every single email or phone call or anything between AH and the ACLU or AH and Michelle here. You can use that Freedom of Information law. But what she initially did at the beginning of the METOO movement was Chanel Miller was a victim of a sexual assault. Demonetized. It's all right. It's hard to talk about. It's easier just to let it go. And it came out that she didn't write the letter at all. That it was written by Michelle Dauber. And now she's in a little bit of trouble for it. I'm not going to pretend like I know the entirety of this situation, but they also do talk about situations where they've been proven false, where again it's been used for something like clout. So the insider references in their email, it's interesting regarding Michelle Dauber and AH, who had Roberta Kaplan represented her. Kaplan founded Time's Up, who with Tina Chen from the start was involved with Dear Colleague. Kaplan defended Columbia University against Paul Nunzinger when the Title IV sued them over the Mattress Girl. Now, we're going to talk about Mattress Girl. If you remember her, she was one that had claimed initially she had been abused also, and it come to find out that not only had she not been, she actually has been pretty much red-pilled at this point, and now she is a completely different person. Her name is Emily Sulkowitz. So Kaplan even famously said that she didn't think that his education had been significantly impacted, talking about her abuser, or alleged abuser. Mattress Girl was featured heavily in the Hunting Ground documentary Propaganda that has been debunked, and also in Carrying the Weight protest. That was led by, of course, Michelle Dauber. Now, a lot of these things are pretty deep when it comes to politics, but we've had Florida State University come out and actually talk about the hunting ground and just say, it simply doesn't provide any proof. It's a false picture of both general essay and how universities are for students. The hunting ground makes it seem like, well, you're a woman, you're going to college. Oh, just plan on getting assaulted. Just plan on it, because you're a woman. That's what happens. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the email goes on to say, May 26, 2016, AH and JD divorce. The box to tick for domestic, is the only box left blank. Meaning they went on to collude to make up a story, and that led to, the emergency hearing for the restraining order. It was all done and, colluded with the ACLU and possibly Michelle Drawber. I have no idea why she would be this dumb, except for clout. So it continues. It says November 2016, shortly after Amber divorce, but before she accused JD of DV, she met Michelle Drawber at an award show in 2018. AH honored Drawber in her ACLU article, the Washington Post op-ed about Me Too. That's pretty funny, isn't it? Yeah, I don't see how. I can't guarantee these dots have connected. I would like to think they had. I would like to think that all of this makes sense, but we will have to wait and see. It says the answer to our question concerned the ACLU would have been the most useful in an issue raised by AH concerning the title of her op-ed. Wasn't just the title. We've seen the emails. It was the whole it was 95% of the document. If that's not collusion, I have no idea what it is, which is insane to me. That's from Benjamin Chu. Now, I'm assuming that's a little bit older, but it's insane to me because the ACLU used to stand for something. They haven't in quite a while, but they used to. So it goes on. Who was Amber? Who did Amber say she was inspired by? Of course, Michelle Drawber, who, per her Freedom of Information Act email dump in 2019, appears to have written the original METOO manifesto that caused Joe Biden, I see you, to Chanel Miller. Yeah, it seems like there's a connection here. It really, really does. So I am curious to see if, like I said in the beginning, I wish they could use another Freedom of Information Act on Michelle to see what her involvement is. They have a good year, almost a year to actually do so. It seems like now would be the time to make that connection and go forward. So let me know if you guys think there's a connection here to the definitely known, very much so known for being not mischievous. Can we say mischievous? For being a liar, for colluding against men on purpose, for colluding and making people's lives miserable on purpose, Michelle Drawber. Anyways, let me know, of course, what you guys think. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
I'm not just a